So I've been watching a lot of artist interviews. Scratch that, because it ain't been a lot. I've been watching Jill Scott interviews, and I've been watching some Bilal interviews, some old and some new ones. Well, it's different interviews, but it's those two artists. Because once I find an interview I like, I do just kind of watch all their interviews until I get bored. Because if you watch enough interviews of artists, you'll start to like, if they're not liars, you'll start to just they talk about the same thing, like how they started, how they felt, you know, how they were raised. Like it's the same story. Um, Unless it's with like a person that they are friends with and they talk about like a friendly conversation, but just like regular interviews is kind of the same one too, you know. So I'm watching Bilal right now, and I'm just thinking to myself how grateful I am that I didn't grow up how I thought I wanted to grow up, because I thought I wanted to grow up and going to a performing arts school and being surrounded by artists and being surrounded by mentors and musicians and all of these things, because I thought it would sharpen me in a lot of ways. And I'm sure it would have, but as much as it would have sharpened me in a lot of ways, I can also see how it would have damaged me in a lot of ways, because I look at like, I notice people who went to like performing arts schools specifically, especially young, like they went there middle high school, like they went to a performing arts school. I notice how self-critical they are, even the best artists. And it's not a matter of talent, because I actually feel like the more talented an artist is, the harsher the harsher they can critique themselves, which is crazy. But I notice how self-critical a lot of artists who went to performing arts schools are of themselves and of others, but I'm not talking about of others. I'm talking about of themselves and self-image. And it's not the baseline regular critique, self-critique, you know, because we all critique ourselves. I critique myself, and as artists, we all feel insecure at times about what we're doing, you know, and we look to others for validation. Sometimes that's just a part of human nature. So I'm not talking about that personal self-critic we have in us. I'm talking about this critique of it being correct. Like they're very, the technical side of things, they are very, that's what it is, they are very hypercritical of their technicality of things. Like excuse me, I was friends with an artist, a painter and a drawer, and I remember we were drawing, and she was talking about colors, like, oh, you have to do, she was telling me how to mix colors, like she was telling me how to properly mix colors to get, like, you know, the specific shade I want, like, oh, you do this to do that and do this, do that, and which is cool, like that's solid information to have. But I also seen how it kind of made her very like hyper focused on the different shades of blue, and it's like everything is with balance, you know, and I don't know if necessarily kids can really learn that balance as their kids. And I think that's what I'm getting at, is that I feel like as children we kind of take authority as law. So when you dealing with something like art, which nobody has authority over, it blurs the line between what I feel and know is right and what is technically and critically correct by the, you know, adults and the artists and the mentors around me. And also as kids, you're trying to appease people. People are still trying to appease people as adults, but as a kid, that's all you know. Like, You could look at a toddler, and a toddler is trying to appease people. A toddler knows how to get attention, and a toddler knows how to make somebody happy, make an adult laugh, or even babies. Sometimes babies be smiling so that y'all can smile. The baby's not happy. Sometimes the baby is smiling so that you can smile, so you can get the fuck out the baby face. The baby know that you want them to smile, and so you can laugh and be happy, and that's why they do it. That's why the smile goes directly away, because they just want you to stop. Like they're just pleasing you. And I feel like as kids we're pleasers. So again, you mix an adolescent who's trying to please people with artistic mentors and a certain law of what's right and what's wrong, and it's like, I don't know, I think that's just a recipe for disaster. And Bilal was talking about how he used to argue with his jazz teachers because they were teaching jazz theory, and he would say this is a theory, which is true. And it's like, yes, there are universal truths, like 1, 2, 3, 4, a 4 count of chord, whatever, but there's many roads to the same path, and you can get to the same place as somebody else maybe without that route, you know. And I really think it's a system of what's the word I'm looking for? I'm looking for a certain word. I really think it's a system of social hierarchy where it's less about what is really evoking the most emotion and more about what is hidden technicality and who knows who. And that sucks because you could have a bunch of people saying like, oh, this is good, and it's not good. I was listening to an artist that's very popular, very, very popular. Like, I don't know global, but in America, they were very popular in the 90s and the 2000s. And a clip of one of their performances from what is considered the height of their career, a live performance, a clip of it came on my timeline, and it was terrible. I mean, voice cracking, out of breath. They had one of the microphone earpieces, so like you just heard them like like you heard the breathing. The voice wasn't controlled, it wasn't steady. And this is coming from a person with no educational music background or nothing, so this is just a general opinion. But if I don't have no musical background and I didn't go to no musical school and I don't got no mentors and I'm saying the shit sound bad, that means it really does not sound good. When regular listeners, when the audience says it's bad, not all the time, but sometimes when the whole audience is like, oh my God, sometimes it's not good. I brought that up to say that artist was well known, very successful. And even in the comments of that video, many people said it sounded amazing. It don't take a rocket scientist to hear that they are off key, they out of breath, it sound bad, their voice is scratchy, it didn't sound good. But I brought that up because that proves that it's not about who really can evoke the most feeling and who can really do it. It's about other things. And because I know some of this is about other things, you kind of have to filter the opinions you take in, man. I think that's what getting older is. It's just learning how to filter opinions. You don't have to take every opinion. If the opinion, if you agree with it, then you take it. If you don't, you can leave it exactly where you found it. Like, I just seen a video a couple hours ago about somebody talking about how important it is to be able to critically think and to understand what information applies to you. Everything don't apply to you. I could walk through the world like a white woman if I want to, but that does not mean it'll be applied. Do y'all know Tracy Barbie? I could walk around the world and say I am a white woman and fully believe I'm a white woman. that does not mean it will reflect in the world. So opinions are just opinions. And I feel like a lot of people want to tell you who you are. I feel like everybody wants to tell you who you are, especially when you're somebody. I think that's funny though. I think that's funny because when you're nobody and nobody cares about you, and people don't find you special, and people don't, think twice about you, nobody cares to tell you who you are or who you should be. But when you have something, even if it's small, even if it's like barely peeking through, even if it's like barely, like almost gone, if you have something, people will try to tell you who you are, who you should be, and who you're supposed to be. And it's easy to just like try to be all of those things, but you can't. You can't. And I cannot be all of those things, bro. I cannot be all of the things that people want me to be. I can only be me. People are putting themselves in my shoes and saying, well, if I were you, this is what I would do. But people aren't me in that sense. And people don't know me. And there are things in my life that people might not ever know, will not ever know. Whether they can understand or relate to it or not, they'll never know because it's not their life, it's mine. So, however I come to myself, to understand myself, and to create is my process. And you can't really tell me that it's wrong. And you can't really tell me I can't feel this way about myself. And you can't really tell me how to feel and how to be and who I should be. Because even if I try, I will fall short and it will not last. I cannot sustain it. The only thing I can sustain is being myself. Every other act will fall off. I've done it. I've been all kind of people. I've lived different lives. Having a different body is living a different life. I didn't live how a 25-year-old lived when I was 12. I had a different life. I had a different body. I moved different. I did different things. I liked different things. I didn't have the ability to choose what media I consumed. Media was what was available to me is what I had within reach. So I was a different person. But now I have new devices and new technologies. And I'm not just speaking about actual technology. I have new technology. So I can run my program a little different, I could be who I want to be. Up until this is like my first stretch of me being me. I've always been me. Don't act like that. But yes, I've conformed. Yes, I've switched. Yes, I've put this costume on and taken it off. Yes, I've tried to be this person. Yes, I've tried to do the things. But what's so funny is even with me trying to be that person, it never worked. It never worked because it's not real. And everybody can spot a fake, even if they act like they, everybody can spot a fake. Everybody can spot a fake. Spotify. But listening to these artists, what I'm really getting at is like who they are, they've always been. And it was only ever a matter of other people catching up. So I don't want to walk around faking like I don't know who the fuck I am. Because I do. And I've also realized too that it's not, because Bilal said some real interesting shit in this interview. Right now it's an interview with Questlove. And he said, Questlove asked him, like, how did you know you had this talent? How did you know you could sing? How did you know you could be this performer? And he said, I don't really know, it just kind of happened at church. But he said, I could only do it at church. Like, he said, like, if I was just on the spot and somebody asked me to sing, I couldn't do it. It wouldn't sound good. If I was just, like, around a bunch of people, it wouldn't work. He literally said the only time it ever worked was when he was at church and he felt like there was a real audience. And I relate to that in the sense that there are times where I can't use that because the environment is not sound. And I know it's a skill to be able to pull on things and use skills even in uncomfortable situations, but when you're still developing it, you can't do that. You have to develop it first and then you learn how to work it. But I can't learn how to work something I'm still developing. How could I learn how to work a system and I'm still developing it? How can I learn how to, work a program and run a program if I'm still creating the software? It's just not possible. And I relate to that in that sense because when the lights come on, it's different. It's different. It's different. It's different than just fucking around. It's different than just practicing. It's different, it's different. And I feel like because I can't perform and tap dance for people at will because that's what they want. Like, genuinely, like, that's what they want. And it might not be coming from a negative standpoint, like how that sounds, like tap dance, but like they may genuinely just want to experience that or whatever. But a lot of times people just want you to tap dance for them. And it's like, I'm a human. And the energy's terrible. Like, excuse me. That's really what I'm getting at too. Like, I cannot perform when the energy's bad. Like, if I'm around a bunch of people who like don't like me, I'm not gonna perform at my best anyway, because it's really like not that good. Like, it's a terrible vibe around here. And I don't think it's that I can't perform. I think it's just that I don't want to. It's not even that I can't. It's just like I don't want to. Like, I don't want to. I feel myself open up in spaces that are meant for me to be in, but I feel myself closed down in spaces that aren't. And I don't think that's, and I don't attribute that to a lack on my end or deficiency. I just attribute that to me listening to myself and taking myself where I need to be. But if I don't feel like the environment's fruitful, then it's not fruitful for me. That doesn't mean it might not be fruitful for you, or you might love it, but this ain't nothing and it ain't moving me. That's what it really is. Ooh, that's what it really is. If I don't feel moved, I can't. What am I doing? I heard Jill Scott say that in one of the other interviews I was listening to. She said, if I don't have the words, I can't sing. What am I singing? She said the words come first. And it's so crazy. She is actually the first freaking artist I've heard to say that. Because I relate to that. My words come first. Like, the whole song will come to me in words. And literally what I've been doing the past year up until now still is learning how to play the words I get on instruments, because I already have the song. I have the song. I can sing the song. I have the song. I have the words. But the ability to translate it musically on the guitar, on the bass, that's what I have to learn how to do. Well, that's what I'm doing. I don't have to learn how to do it, bitch. It's already getting done. No shade. But, just to wrap this up, because this video is getting too long, all of these interviews are just teaching me that I don't have to listen to nobody. Fuck y'all niggas, for real. Like, and if you come around me with bad energy, you got to go. It's crazy because I've been saying it in all my videos. Like, if you on some weird shit, I'm not fucking with you. If you moving weird or if you acting funny to me, I'm just da-da-da-da. But that's essentially all I'm saying. When I'm in a non-ignorant, politically correct way, what I'm saying is, if the energy is not good, if the energy is bad with a person, with a company, with a venue, with a band, with a group of people, if the energy is not good, I will remove myself. Excuse me. That is what I'm saying. That is what I'm saying. In the most humblest of manners, that is what I'm saying. And I find that the more I remove myself from things that don't feel good, the better I get, and the better I feel, and the more I receive. So I'm looking forward to doing what the fuck I want. I've been doing what I want with the in the back, buddy. In the front, it's tequila in the tongue. What I want.